It's the Shitcase Cinema.
Whatever you do, don't go to Silent Hill.
So this second Silent Hill film carries on from the first one, if you can believe that. You've got Sean Bean and his now teenage daughter running away from all things Silent Hill, I guess. And that's it. Sounds more boring than it is. But don't think the film isn't boring, because despite only clocking in at 1 hour 27 minutes, it's a long slog to get to those end credits. It's painful as well. They go under new names now, so Sharon is now Heather and Christopher is now Harry, so that means we don't get to see Sean Bean crying out his family's name every time he's on screen. Which is all he basically did in the first film.
Rose! Sharon!
Heather's fine. I was Sharon, then Mary, then Kathy. Oh, Heather. You were Christopher and now you're Harry. Names don't matter.
No does acting or story or dialogue or direction. Actually, we do get a little bit of Sean saying his family's names with awesome wooden delivery.
Rose.
Sharon!
He does not want to be there. And you might not be able to see it, but off the side of the screen in every scene that he's in, I can guarantee you that there's a gun pointed to the side of his head. His dead wife talks to him in a silly cameo then, and I might have missed something obvious here, but I haven't watched the first movie in like 8 years or something. But young Sharon appears behind him, and 8 minutes into the movie I was beyond confused. Meanwhile, Sharon, this one, goes to her first day at school, spooky things happen, and she befriends this guy called Vincent, who is also a new student. Now, here's an example of the great dialogue and how they become friends.
What are you doing out of class?
You know what? I'm lost. Can't find math. Any ideas?
No. I'm lost too.
It's brilliant. So they hang around and chat about all things we don't care. Sean Bean gets taken, probably by Liam Neeson for all I know, and then this random guy starts to follow Heather, and more weird stuff happens. You following this? Now, I thought that scary stuff is meant to happen in Silent Hill, but here she's just at school, and here she's at the shopping centre. Well, whatever, it's pointless questioning just this one particular point, because the entire film is questionable. So this random guy claims he's a private detective, but all he does is a little bit of exposition for anyone still awake, and then he dies, but obviously we don't care because he was just a pointless 2-minute character. And there's lots of 2-minute characters in this film. Now, this is how things go for the rest of the movie. She runs along, something happens, etc, etc. The end. It's mind-numbing on so many levels, and it's so poorly made. I mean, I honestly think they wasted their entire budget on making this movie 3D. Silent Hill Revelation is a prime example of why you don't make a movie based on a video game. In a way, it's kind of an unwritten law that if you take a video game and adapt it into a film, you've got to make it shitty. No ifs, no buts, you have to, okay? It's as simple as that. And this film is shitty, so at least they stuck to the formula with that. Well done. So Sharon, the name Heather, is totally forgotten by this point. Discovers that her dad is missing, but she can't contact the police.
Why not?
I just can't. Okay?
Okay.
That's your explanation, folks. No reason, she just can't. It's great, but what isn't great is that Sean's now missing because he's the most entertaining thing about this garbage.
My dearest Sharon, if you're reading this and something has happened to me, you're on your own now.
He can never pull off a believable accent other than his own. I mean, he's a Yorkshireman, he's like me. We pride ourselves on nobody else in the fucking country, or the world for that matter, being able to understand what we're saying clearly. So when he does an American accent, yeah, it's hilariously bad. The fact that we're stuck with these two Muppets now is criminal.
It is possible for a few to escape just for a while, but it requires sacrifice and suffering.
Moving on, the relationship between Sharon and Vincent makes him come across like the compulsive stalker type. He's known her for maybe half a day at most, and already he's saying clingy stuff like, "I just don't want anything to happen to you," followed by big lovey-dovey hugs. I mean, it's seriously ludicrous and ridiculous, and it sums up the writing quality. Speaking of quality, this film doesn't have any, but there's a few cool creepy monsters, such as this spider-type thing that's made out of multiple mannequins. Why? I don't know. After about 45 seconds, Sharon escapes and it's on to the next monster. These dead nurses are back from the first film, which again, they're creepy, but they're easy to avoid if you keep quiet. Something that people just can't seem to do in a movie like this. And guess what? They die.
Go away!
What are you doing, you anus? Oh yeah, I forgot you've got to die so they can push in another 3D effect. Get away! Get away! That's just priceless, that is. Now, here's a really big surprise that actually isn't a big surprise at all. When Vincent shouts out that he's part of this cult who wants Sharon to return to Silent Hill. It's funny watching these two act on screen together. It's honestly like a case of who can deliver their lines with the least interest, and at times the term would and does not suffice. Speaking of bad acting, Malcolm McDowell's in this travesty. Oh yeah. I don't know what he's thinking sometimes with his choices of films to appear in, but I guess it's an easy paycheck for him. Now, he plays Vincent's insane granddad, so I guess he has to act bad so they can say that it runs in the family. Maybe, I don't know. Now, he's only in this for literally 3 minutes before he turns into some kind of monster for no apparent reason other than why not. Then Sharon pulls out a medallion from his chest which kills him because, again, why not? Oh, speaking of cameos, Deborah Unger, or however you pronounce her name, reprises her role, but like Malcolm, she's in this for all of 3 pointless minutes, but it is nice to see her again. She looks fucking depressed to be there, but you know, she got paid for it, so don't feel too bad for her. There's other small characters in there as well, for example, like when Sharon saves this girl from a spider creature, and you end up thinking, hey, maybe they'll team up, but after saying literally 2 lines, she dies. Ludicrous. Speaking of Ludicrous, Vincent tells us that these guys wear masks because they don't want to breathe in the air as they'll think it'll corrupt them.
They won't breathe the air of the darkness. They think it corrupts them.
And now that he said that, it naturally becomes fact, and they choke on black goo. Which doesn't even make any logical sense, as they're breathing in the same air as... whatever. The rest of these goons just explode into flames for no reason, obviously. I'm not even kidding, I swear, right? These are surrounding Sharon on a merry-go-round of all things, and they set on fire. It's the mindless work of morons, imbeciles, and every person stupid enough to be involved in this shambolic mess. Now, you could point the finger of blame at the director, well, Michael J. Bassett, but you've got to feel kind of sorry for the guy because every single day that he wakes up, he's like, oh my god, I made Silent Hill 2. I must be paying for sins in a past life. He also wrote this as well, so he's kind of a legend in tomfoolery. What a tit. But no, seriously, you've got to blame each and every single person who's involved in this film because it's a team effort to make something this monumentally bad. Here's a crazy guy with a pyramid for his head, and he's meant to be a bad guy. Now, I don't know about the games, I don't care, I'm not here to make a comparison, but in the first movie, he's freaky, he's menacing, and he rips a woman in half. In this movie, he turns up, and he's now a good guy and decides to protect Sharon when he finds her in trouble. If he wants to be a good guy, at least look the part, you know, maybe try and brush yourself up and look a bit like James Bond or something. Look a little bit less menacing, get rid of the act and do something about that fucking pyramid on your head. But what do I know? We never see him again after this, which in a movie as short and as confusing as this, it's no surprise. Well, he pops up briefly again towards the end, but it's nothing to get excited about, so he may as well not be in it again, okay? Now, after many long drawn-out scenes which doesn't build tension or suspense, it merely adds to the pain and torture of your viewing displeasure, Sharon uses the 2 medallions. Vincent gave her one earlier on if you really must know. To naturally save the day by killing an emo version of herself, I think. Pyramid Head pops back up one more time to fight some evil woman, but who honestly cares by this point? Sean Bean lives though. Oh yeah, that's a nice change for him as well because he always dies in so many movies. It's probably why he stooped so low to appear in this film because they said, look Sean, if you appear we won't kill you, how's that? I mean, I'm sure as soon as he heard those words he felt like Leonardo DiCaprio in Titanic, feeling like he's on top of the fucking world.
Sharon! Rose?
Seriously, you watch this and all it succeeds in doing is making you want to watch the first one. You see scenes like this and you just want to go watch a film like The Mist or The Fog. You see this and you want to go out and locate a fun fair just to do anything else but watch this dirge. You watch the full film and you realise that you've got very little else to do in your life. Bottom line is, Silent Hill Revelation makes you want to do anything but sit down and pay attention to it. I really didn't know what was going on half of the time and to be honest I just didn't care. It's a really convoluted mess with no substance whatsoever. The monsters aren't on screen long enough to become real threat. It's not scary whatsoever and there's no atmosphere to it, unlike the first movie. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is developed here. Like introducing the 2-line girl. Seriously, what was that all about? All characters do is stand around and point at things and try to explain the plot to one another and Overall, it's an empty viewing experience, and this film kind of has the ability to give you a lobotomy. So save yourself 87 minutes and go bake a cake or something, because this is pathetic. 1 out of 10.